Welcome to Speak Free with Matty G, the podcast that celebrates free speech, truth, and open discussion. Hello and welcome to Speak Free with Matty G, episode 27. I'm joined here today by a good mate of mine, Ricky Gorsey. Obviously, we've had you on before, so welcome back to the Speak Free studio. But we're going to be talking about, I guess, the next phase of your career, which is pretty exciting. You're a mindset and lifestyle coach officially now. I know you've been working on it for a long time, so it's good to see you reaching that goal. And obviously with that comes the creation of RVG Coaching, your new business venture, and an extension of that RVG brand that everyone in the Hawkesbury knows and loves. So we'll be covering that, and we're also going to be covering about obviously why you do it, and what the drive is with helping others, and what you get out of that, and then obviously talking about the RVG brand and where you want to take it as well. Now, obviously, we did our podcast over a year ago now. You're my second guest.
It's been a while now,
Looking back on that episode, if anyone wants to go watch it, fuck me, mate. The setup is shit.
Humble beginnings.
The camera was way too high. I don't know what angle I was going for there. And I thought I was a bit of an awkward cunt, to be honest. But you know, we're here, we're growing, and that's what it's all about. Now tell me about, obviously, how long have you wanted to do RVG coaching for, or just coaching in general?
Okay. So I've been into self-development and like that whole sort of scene literally for as long as I can remember. Like I've been like training since I was honestly like 10 years old. Like it started with boxing and then it transitioned into weight training, and then obviously the weight training sort of helped me start to tap into the mindset side of things, like you build that mental resilience and all that sort of thing. And then from there, like I've just always been into self-development. And then I was into books when I was younger, and then I sort of, when I did my carpentry apprenticeship, I sort of came out of that. And then I got back into books because I was suffering with some personal issues, and I didn't really see a way out. So I read a book on this specific issue, and the book really helped me. And then the book recommended another book, and I was like, I'll read that book too. And that was The Power of Now. I spoke a lot about that in the last podcast. Yeah. And then from there, it's just been like book, like quite literally reading books all the time now. I'm genuinely a big advocate of reading. But the whole self-development thing sort of, it stemmed from the physical development, and it just went into every other element. Like, in all honesty, it started with physical, then it went into like mental with the reading, and then spiritual, and then I just started to get into like emotional intelligence. And once I started getting into the psychology side of things, which I found extremely interesting, that just took me down a rabbit hole of like intense learning. I found the more I learned, the better my life experience became. So that was sort of the driving force behind my the drive to learn. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm like everything, like when I learn about healing, and I learn about trauma, and I learn about developing a healthy relationship to your thoughts and emotions and all this stuff. And the more I learned, the happier and happier I became. I was just like, I didn't actually even think this was possible. I didn't realize that you could actually feel this good, like all the time. And I'm not saying, I don't have bad days. I definitely do. But I'm just in such a better place than I was in comparison to when I was younger. And I actually never thought that this was possible. So that's been the sort of like why I got into it, and what's the driving force towards me to continue learning. Yeah.
It's really interesting to see it. Like since our podcast, I've done quite a bit of reading on different things too. What I found is when you understand more about the psychology of humans and how they behave and the reasons for them doing a certain thing, I found it creates such a deeper understanding. So many people, I find, we get into an argument with someone or whatever it may be, or something will happen within their relationship or their friendship or whatever, or family. And it creates this huge blow up and this huge and it becomes like the end of the world sort of thing for them. But I feel like when you really break it down and start to understand why the fuck they're like that, it creates it's like you can't be angry at someone for long enough. You know what I mean? Like they can really fuck you over. And
exactly. Like in all honesty, I started to like there have been a few people in the past few years who have done me wrong, done a few things towards me, and like the old Ricky before I knew this stuff would probably blow up and be like, why are they doing this, and fucking have that like just victim mentality, like they're such a bad person, whatever. But now I understand, like I've developed a lot of empathy towards individuals because I understand human nature on a deeper level, as you said.
Yeah.
When someone, for example, if someone does something to me and they are like trying to tear me down or say stuff about me or whatever, I understand that that's just a projection of their internal state. And so instead of being like reacting towards them and like mirroring their hatred and shit, I'm just sort of like, listen, like, you know, whoever it is, I understand you're probably experiencing this. And so I'm not going to react like that. I'm actually going to be like, are you okay? Like, do you, like, if you actually need help, I'm here for you. I actually, I'm a big advocate for the way that we should respond to hate in other people is with love. I think that's the antidote. I don't think there's any fucking reason that we should respond to hate with hate. It doesn't do anything. Like if you have two people who say, you're an asshole, no, you're an asshole, no, you're an asshole. It's just no one wins. It's just that's not how you resolve arguments or anything. I think you just, you know, let them, you know, say whatever they need to say. You know, in all honesty, sometimes I just let people say whatever the fuck they want to say because I know it's a means of them projecting, and projecting is it's not a healing method that I recommend, but I understand that it is releasing that sort of emotions within them. It's sort of, it's not even really their fault at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've started to look a lot more inward too, when it comes to, I guess, problems I've had with individuals. And I've kind of figured out, like, with that viewpoint of like, I'm not just going to be angry at these kind, like, obviously I've done something as well, you know,
Yep,
no one's
100%.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I think realizing that you're also, you know, not a problem, but that you've also done shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have, you know, I think I'm probably at a place now where I really deeply understand why things happen the way they do in terms of that sort of thing, whether it's relationships, friendship, whatever. But yeah, and because of that, it's sometimes hard when people aren't also on that level. They just see it very black and white, and it becomes a little bit frustrating. Do you find it becomes frustrating at all when people, I guess, aren't as empathetic as you when it comes to...
I think in the past, I definitely had a tendency to sort of expect myself from others. And that's something that I've really worked on and just started to see people as they are in comparison to being like, you know, examples, say purely example, but if I was like, oh, you know, I wish Matty G was more spiritual and in touch with this stuff, you know, when in reality, that is completely irrational. You shouldn't have to be a certain way for me to like you. I shouldn't expect you to be anything like me. It's just see people how they are, accept them as they are, and just work with how they are. It's to expect someone to be on the same level as you in an aspect of yourself that you've put a lot of work into is completely illogical. It's like, how can you expect that, you know?
Yeah. I must say, like, I've probably been guilty of that myself. Expecting, I think the expectation or the idea of someone sometimes outweighs who they actually are in my head.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Mental models.
And and it happens, and it's normal. I think it's a normal thing to think of someone. But I think, now probably with a few things that have happened in my life the past, probably I'd say 12, 18 months, I've really gotten to a place now where I just reciprocate energy now, and that's it. If someone doesn't want to fucking hang out, cool, bro. I'll go do something else, cunt. Like, I'm not going to get fucking mad about it. Or if, like, you know, they do a certain thing that I don't agree with them doing, not with them doing, but I wouldn't do myself. I don't now think they're a fucking shit cunt for doing that. I'm like, oh, well, that's their thing.
You
that's
do
cool.
you,
you do you.
It's funny you mentioned that. Coming into the coaching industry and with my, like, nature, I like, you know me on a personal level, you know how much I want to help people. And you experienced the other day how, sometimes when you try and help people who don't necessarily want the help, it can come across as a little bit pushy. So I'm like, what I've been working on lately and this sort of realization I've come to is you can only help people who actually want to be helped.
Yeah.
You cannot help someone who doesn't want it. And even though you can clearly see like that they can do a certain thing or a certain few things that will drastically improve their life, or even if you see a version of them that they don't yet see, I think as a friend, it is your place to sort of help them see that, but you can only push so far.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point where they're like get off my back. I don't want your help. You know?
And that creates hostility. Yeah, I do agree there. Like, I think, addiction is a big one for me when it comes to needing help. Everyone I know who struggled with either drug use or gambling or alcohol or whatever the fuck it may be, their vice, they, no matter what anyone said to them, they will not change until they know they need to change.
Yeah.
Right, until they really fucking know they need to change.
100%.
Right, and usually it's either when it's too late or it's at a breaking fucking point.
Yeah.
Which sucks that it happens that way, but that's just the reality when it comes to the fucking dark side of addiction. With other things, obviously, some people are just lazy cunts.
With addiction, sorry to cut you off, we will get deeper in this a bit later, but addiction is a topic that I'm heavily interested in. And I've experienced a little bit with addiction in the past with certain things, not drugs or alcohol. But I just think that one of the main things that causes addiction is sort of escapism from our own internal things. A lot of people have like trauma and emotions from certain events that have happened, and they'll do anything but feel it. They'll do anything but heal themselves, and it is honestly Hawkesbury culture, especially in men, which is quite literally why I want to work with men. Like I'm going to work with all demographics, obviously, but I want to target men.
And all genders.
Yeah, all
genders.
Yeah. But yeah, because like in the culture, especially among men, like what happens in the Hawkesbury, say a guy breaks up with a long-term girlfriend, what do his mates usually say to him when he's feeling like absolutely like shit?
Let's go get on the piss.
Let's get on the piss. Let's go over a fucking bag. You know, let's do this. And they're like, oh yeah, like fucking oath, like harden up, bro. You'll be right. No, they fucking won't. That's one of the reasons why male suicide's so fucking high.
Yeah.
And that's like, honestly, that whole thing of like men and women, obviously, not being able to reach out to anyone and thinking escapism is the only way to get out of this bullshit, to get out of to heal from this stuff. That's one of the main driving factors for starting RVG coaching. I want people to have a platform, to have a person, a company, because it's going to expand later, to go to where they can actually heal this stuff and they don't need to resort to all this bullshit. And
I'll be straight up. I mean, obviously I've talked about it a bit on here, and people who know me fucking know me. I've escaped with drugs and alcohol plenty of times. More so drugs than alcohol. I mean, I was pretty bad on the drink when I moved down to Wollongong, only because I didn't have a hookup for drugs there. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, so I'm not like sitting here being like, oh, yeah, fucking know that, like, because I'm no better. But I do understand the reality of it, rather than, there was a good quote, and I'm not fucking saying go and do drugs. But there was a good quote I read that talked about sort of when you're experimenting with drugs and that, not saying, Ricky's not for drugs. Just want to put that out there. Ricky doesn't touch that shit. But I did read something, and the reality is most people are going to try drugs. A lot of people are going to try drugs, in their adolescence and early 20s and whatnot. And it said, never use drugs to make a bad time good.
Facts, yeah.
If you do it, make sure it's making a good time great.
Yeah, go in, like, I'm not advocating drugs for the record, but, like, yeah, exactly. Don't use it as escapism.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
And I think I've done that, a fair bit. I've done, there's been plenty of times where I've been really happy, and it's just been an added thing, an added bonus, whether I've been at a festival or whatever the fuck. But there's been many a time where I've used it to escape a certain thing, or I've gone through a certain period of my life and it's gotten worse during that period because of something I'm going through, and
it just makes shit, like, honestly, like, it'll make shit 100 times worse. Like, obviously the high is high, but the low is fucking low.
Yeah.
And, like, there's always a come down.
Always a come down. And then
you need it again. You build the dependency of like, fuck,
Yeah. It's not a good place to be in. Well, it's definitely not. I think when I've been my most happiest is when I've Probably had a big break from all that. But I mean, fuck me, can't stop addicted to the shindig, as Red Hot Chili Peppers said.
With the whole escapism thing, like I've definitely experienced that as well. As I mentioned in one of the posts on RVG coaching, I'm never going to coach people on things that I haven't personally experienced. Like on the troubles that I'm coaching people on, I have experienced in one form or another, because I think you need to have you need to be able to understand things on an experiential level and understand what they're feeling and where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So when I was going through the stuff that I was going through, I was massive on escapism, and I didn't even notice this in the moment because I thought I was, doing good and all this stuff. My form of escapism, as vanilla as this may sound, it was just consuming content. It was all really good content. I was reading a ton of books. I was always listening to a podcast, like always in my house.
Hopefully Speak Free with Matty J.
Yeah, lad. No, I was always listening to a pod. Like there was always something in my house that was stimulating me.
Yeah.
And then someone mentioned it to me and they said, your house is never quiet. Like you always have something going on. And I said, true. And then I was like sort of got a little bit introspective with myself, and I was like, why is that? And I was like, and then I started turning the podcast off and stuff. And this is before I started meditating, and I sat down with myself and I was like, there's a lot of stuff I need to deal with here. Like there is a lot of stuff. And so I realized unconsciously I was escaping. I was trying to get away from this shit.
I think that's it's interesting you say that about content, because I think I did that a lot. Looking back now, and I kind of only have had this perspective maybe the last couple months. Still hold all the views, so don't think I'm fucking changing up on you, cunt. But I think last year during lockdown and all the fucking unnecessary bullshit from the government, and feeling really fucking alone at the time.
Yeah.
Like really alone. I knew there were people out there that agreed with me, but I knew there were a fucking lot of people who didn't as well.
You know what? Just on that topic, there were, I think, a lot of people who would have agreed with you with the whole,
fuck the government.
Yeah, that movement.
Let's just call it
that. But people are scared to speak out.
Yes.
That's the thing. Because if you speak out, now you're going to get shunned. A lot of people care what other people think too much.
100%. And, and the biggest thing for me, probably with that, but we'll just get back to escapism with content in a second. But biggest thing for me with that was seeing how many people were rooting for me or like privately messaging me 2 days out from me going to that protest, right? That protest. Yeah, you all know the fucking protest. And I put up a photo of like a sign I made which said, "It is not selfish to fight for freedom," which I fucking stand by 100%.
So
if you disagree, get fucked. But yeah, I put that up and there was a lot of comments, like a lot of messages saying, fucking oath, like give him hell, like fucking go for
where's
it.
that energy on the post?
And then,
that's what I'm thinking.
But once I put it up and I was putting stories up when I was there on the day, thinking this is awesome. Like people are going to be like, whoa, this is fucking mad oath. And then I realized the mainstream media, how twisted those cunts are, and how much they twisted the narrative and made everyone, and credit to them, fucking powerful motherfuckers.
Brainwashing motherfuckers.
And what I realized is the majority of people in this country are fucking morons. Because they are so easily manipulated, and it's not their fault.
Exactly. That's where the empathy comes in with this, of like the media literally has I don't know how many fucking people are in there, but they have a massive team of professionals that are like, literally their profession is to brainwash you. And to instill things in your subconscious mind that make you think a certain way. They are masters at this shit. Yeah. So you can't even sort of be like, if someone agrees.
And you know what? And I've been victim to it too. I'm not like hating on anyone. Fucking morons. That was probably shouldn't have said that. Not everyone's a moron, but there was a lot last year, right? But what if I wasn't there seeing what was actually happening, there's a good chance. Probably not, because I was full anti that. But if it was another issue that I didn't care as strongly about, there's a good chance I would be fucking livid at those protesters as well. Yeah. Because of the little fucking 5-second clips they show on the media, which are all manufactured anyway.
Stories they portray. Yeah.
I saw 7 News talking with police that day. They talk to them. They explain what they're going to do. And they're saying, we need a photo here. We're going to go pepper spray that guy and see his reaction. Once he pushes the cop, that's where you need the photo.
Really?
Or just him pushing the cop. Things like that. Like, it happens all the time. You wouldn't believe how corrupt New South Wales police are. Come sue me. I don't care. Um, but it's like I saw it with my own eyes. So like anyone who's like, oh yeah, whatever, cunt. But literally, I saw that happen there multiple times throughout the day.
Yeah.
And people who were in groups I'm with were right near where that horse thing happened, and that was all manufactured as well, like all planned. And they ruined that guy's life.
Yeah.
Till it went through the courts now, and he is innocent.
Yeah.
Want to put that out there, and I hope he sues the fuck out of every mainstream media there is. But yeah, but anyway, back to escapism from content. I think I was consuming because, especially after that happened, and I was coming back, and I thought, I thought everyone was like finally starting to get on, wake up and see what I could see, and sort of, or at least open their minds to questioning what was going on. That all got taken away.
Yeah.
In that day, like all got taken away. I think I lost about 330 followers on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, like huge amount. And for me, like, and imagine if I was like, someone famous, they'd probably lose like 5,000, 10,000 in that day. But then coming back to that, because I felt so fucking alone, other than the people who were there with me at the protest, I went next level, fucking watching everything, reading everything, and a lot of it wasn't true.
Yeah.
But I would consume it anyway, and
it's big on what you focus on, man. It's fucking vital, in all honesty. Like if you're focusing on like the news and all this shit and all that stuff every single day, it actually like that. All that shit will manifest in your life in more ways than you can imagine.
Yeah.
The thoughts in your head, the emotions in your body, the behavior that you do because you've been consuming this shit. It's much deeper than people think.
Yeah. I was actually having a conversation to a mate last weekend about it, and I was saying when it first started and I started posting about it, I literally felt like I had to save the world, right? Like I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. Like people, I need to wake everyone up.
Yeah.
Now I'm not like that. And I'm really like, I'm a lot more chilled now. Like I still have those views. I'm still strong in them, but I realize that I can't change anyone's fucking opinion.
Exactly.
All I can do is present information,
It comes back to you can't help people that don't want to be helped.
Yeah. Yes. Good segue there. Good segue. I like it. But yes. And I do agree. Like I think, for so long, I was so wrapped up on fucking like I'll help people wake up, and the thing is, they're just not going to, man. They're going to wake up. If they wake up, they're going to wake up in their own time.
Bro, that was honestly when I how I got into the whole spiritual aspect. The last podcast, I was literally all spiritual. That was, you know how it was. When I first discovered that I wasn't my thoughts or emotions, I was like, oh my fucking God. Like I literally remember like calling people, being like, bro, this is fucking insane. Like the internal liberation that I felt, I wanted everyone to feel it. I wanted that freedom. I wanted everyone to have that freedom. But and then again, I was flooding my social medias and stuff, and again, I was losing followers and stuff. And I personally don't give a fuck about that. I'm just like the people who are. I think if you're authentic with everything you do, you will attract individuals who are aligned with your authentic self.
Yeah.
Whereas some people on social media, they portray themselves to be something they're not, and then they're 100%. You'll still attract individuals, but they're aligned with this this front that you've portrayed. And so when you actually meet up with these people in real life, or when you actually form a meaningful connection, it crumbles because it's not real, and the facade always falls. That's why I genuinely
100%.
I'm a massive advocate on authenticity. And I don't care if it makes me lose fucking followers or friends or whatever, because I will always be known for being real and true to who I am.
Yeah.
I hate that front bullshit, honestly.
Yeah. Fucking name drop a few. I won't. But yeah, I 100% agree. And I think that is what is missing from today's society on a huge scale is that authenticity. And with things like TikTok, and I see things that people post that I know personally that they post on TikTok, and I'm thinking, oh, cunt, that ain't you, bro. Like that ain't you at all. Like, what are you doing? Like, to be honest, I stay away from TikTok. I have a TikTok for fucking Speak Free, and I just put up snippets. That's all I put up. Hopefully one goes viral soon, please. Allah, if you're up there. But fucking, some of the shit I see, and I'm just thinking, fuck, man, like people are so And I think it becomes with that reward thing as well, right? And I think it's like a drug, you know?
Oh, fucking attention, bro.
And yeah, they get one video blows up and they think, fuck, man, I got to do that again. And they'll do anything. They'll jump on every trend. They'll research trends. They'll research what's popping at the moment on fucking TikTok.
And the shit gets to their fucking heads, man. Like,
big time.
have you, like,
I've met people with a good following on TikTok who I knew prior who are cunts now.
Yeah, it's just like, just
Massive
chill, bro.
cunt,
Like, be humbled. Like, this bullshit of like, you know, I've got couple 100,000 things on TikTok or you have to book in to see me, like, fuck off, cunt. Like, whatever. Like, I commend, like, I'm happy for you for your success, genuinely. Anyone who experiences success, I'm very happy for you. But do not think that you're better than anyone fucking else. We've all experienced the success, you know, in each element of our life.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're better than anyone. It just means, you know, you've taken the opportunities that have been presented to you.
Yeah. And I mean, and let's be real, TikTok, it's a cesspool of fucking talentless cunts, basically. Like, I'll put that out there, man. I mean, doing a dance, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, you did a dance that 50 million other people did. Well done. Yours went viral. Cool. What do you have to show for it? Other than likes and comments
I think
and
TikTok
followers?
It is a platform that can be used for mass impact. Like, I'm gonna,
and I don't want to shit on TikTok too much. There's a lot on there that I fucking love as well. A lot on there that I love, and I think people use it for good as well. It's a great marketing tool as well. I think it's a fantastic fucking marketing tool for business. And I think a lot of the content that I see on it, even if it's just funny, it gives me a laugh, whatever.
Yeah.
I talk shit, but let's be real. When I go on TikTok, I'm on there for fucking 3 hours.
Well, the good thing about TikTok is the reach aspect of it. So with Insta and Facebook and Snapchat and whatever social you use to sort of put stuff up on, you can only reach it organic, which means the people you're friends with and whatever. But with TikTok, you get thrown into this thing of like the For You page, which is fucking insane. And yeah, if you want to be, you know, you do your dances and stuff, that's cool, do whatever you want. But if you actually want to make a positive impact, in my case, I genuinely am going to start getting us, in all honesty, I should have started 2 years ago, but whatever, let's work with what we got. You can impact so many more people, you know, and that's genuinely the next step in my content game. Like, I'm not going to say I've mastered writing, but I've gotten very good at writing and the blog posts and stuff I've been doing. And now I want to move to the visual because I think like the writing's good, but I think in terms of the attention span and who I'm actually targeting in terms of the demographic, they're not really people that are going to sit there and read through a fucking really long thing that I write, even though if you read it, you'd get a lot of value, but I think they're also going to respond better to like a video of me talking with subtitles and music in the background and a bit more stimulating so they can stay engaged. Yeah.
And I mean, that's where the world's gone now, hasn't it? Like, everything is visual, you know.
Insta's like TikTok now. Twitter's like TikTok.
Well, they all copied. They had to, you know, to stay relevant.
Snapchat,
you know?
same. It's fucking everywhere, bro.
Yeah, they had to, you know, they have to adapt. But I think, I don't think anything right now in terms of like snippet content and quick content in terms of videos, nothing will beat TikTok. No, in terms of that. Like, it's absolutely massive. It's fucking mammoth. Like,
it's pretty fucking bad for your mental health, to be honest. TikTok too,
especially I've found that, like, I'll watch a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff I'm just like, wow, man, this world is fucking insane.
And just the fact that, like, in no point ever in history have we ever experienced something where we, you know, this is like we watching one video, boom, next video. You're in a completely different scene, next video. Completely. How do you think that is doing? What do you think that's doing good things to your brain? Fuck no. It's throwing the absolute shit out of your dopamine receptors, draining your natural dopamine levels. You know, people spend all day on TikTok and social media and this and that, and then wonder why they have no drive, no drive, ambition, or like fucking like general happiness. You've drained your shit like the whole day, you know. That's another big thing too that RVG coaching is going to focus on in one of our programs is dopamine and like actually optimizing your lifestyle to just make sure that you're not draining your dopamine on all this bullshit and your environment, like your house and stuff. Like this self-development stuff and like becoming the best version of yourself goes so much deeper than what people think. It's not just like think positive. It's like, no, there's so many levels.
And that's interesting. Like you talked about like your house and that, like, do you mean like decluttering and things like that, or
you've never been to mine?
I've never been to yours actually.
If you ask anyone who's been to my house, it is like, it's been compared to a temple or a classroom. Like it's very, I've got, my main office area, and then I've got 2 massive whiteboards behind me, and then like I've got quotes everywhere, and I actually don't have a lounge, which is, some people might call that extreme, whatever, but I find a lounge. When I used to have a lounge, I used to sit down a lot and like play on my phone a lot. So I saw that and I was like, laters, that's going.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how dedicated I am to this stuff. It's like, if there's anything hindering my growth, it's gone.
Yeah, jeez. I fucking love a good couch.
Yeah, no, so do I. But
there's a casting couch right behind you.
Oh, let's go. No. Even with big thing too, environmental design with food. I've literally had so many people be like, "Fuck, bro, you eat so healthy. Like, how do you stick to this?" I stick to it because it's the only thing in my house. I don't have a pack of gummy worms and chocolate fucking twiddly fingers or whatever the fuck all that bullshit is. Like, I don't have any of this shit in my house. I have my chicken, I have my rice, I have all the stuff that's in my diet, and that's it.
Yeah.
If I want a treat, I literally have to drive to the shops and get it, and there's no chance of me fucking doing that.
Yeah.
By the time you get in your car, you're like, I don't even want this fucking bullshit wafer fingers or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, is it even worth it?
No, exactly.
I think that's interesting you say that. Obviously in the Hawkesbury, it's not as prevalent as, I live in Granville now during the week, and fuck me, man, like, how hard. I just started on light and easy, and I'm going pretty well, I must say. I'm pretty happy. I've already lost a few kgs. But like the fucking struggle, because I'm so close to everything. Not only is it a close drive, but if I don't even want to leave the house, I just get Uber Eats or Menulog or Deliveroo or fucking DoorDash or fucking, there's so many now. And I have to really talk myself out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Which lately I've been good at, but fucking before that, man, before I decided, no, enough's enough, going on light and easy again. Fuck, man, I was getting like a heart attack in a box of fucking every 2 days.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I was having a conversation with a friend quite literally just before this podcast, and he was talking about himself giving into like specific temptations and stuff. I'm not going to go into it or names or anything, but he's like, I've been giving into these temptations and it's pretty hard to stay away from. And I said, you need to change the way you perceive yourself. Again, I talk about this in the programs and stuff with RVG coaching, but we act in direct accordance with who we think we are. So in terms of like that situation with the whole Uber Eats thing, if I was a coach and I was approaching this, firstly, I would change your self-perception and your perceived identity. So someone who sees themselves as an individual who eats fast food all the time will continue to do that. But for example, I have a sheet of like affirmations that I read. One of the affirmations is quite literally, and people call this extreme or whatever, but one of the affirmations says, I do not eat any unhealthy foods. I only eat whole, organic, healthy food. Unhealthy foods sicken me, or something along the lines of that. And quite literally, you say that to yourself every day, twice a day, and you build a strong mental point on that. Like, people offer you food, and that's like the thing in your head of like, I don't want that shit. That's not the sort of person I am, because we act who we think we are.
Yeah.
With who we think we are. Sorry.
Yeah. That's really interesting, because it's probably a mixture of laziness and also just really fucking, like Granville, I mean, seriously. Don't really like the area, but fuck, they got good kebabs, cunt. Really good. But I think it's more so laziness, and the fact it's like, it's accessible, so accessible. Like, it literally gets dropped at your fucking door.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get any more accessible than that. But for me, I think it is like, and I think I got in that rut of, I'm going to really enjoy this. But then afterwards, you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Just sort of getting.
Could have literally just it's just to be full. Like, that was the end goal, was to be full. I'm hungry.
Just like,
It's like, so why not fill myself up with something good? Like, at the end, like, and I'm not saying just eat healthy food, don't eat fucking anything nice. Like, I do light and easy Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Weekends, I like to, if someone invites me out for dinner, I want to be able to go and eat what I want and not
fair.
fucking worry, but there's definitely been a big mindset change probably the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks for me, that I've gone, you know what, that's, you've taken it too far when it comes to that sort of shit now. Like, it's time to get back on the healthy train. And I think I was probably at my most happiest when I lost 20 kilos in 2020.
Yeah.
And,
one of my big things is purpose over pleasure. So that's honestly like one of my main mantras, and that ties into like everything, like from literally like doing stupid shit to eating foods that you know are bad for you, like everything. Like anytime I, have a thing of like, oh, Mad Max would probably taste better than the chicken and rice that I'm about to eat with broccoli, but I'm not eating for purpose. I'm not eating for pleasure. I'm eating for purpose. Like there's a reason I'm eating these foods. It makes me look a certain way, makes me feel amazing. That's the thing too. Like a lot of people with the whole like eating and stuff, they eat this food and they're like, oh, why the fuck would I eat that food? It looks like shit, tastes like shit. I'm just like, okay, bro, like that's cool, but this food will, you eat a specific way and you eat whole organic foods and whatnot. You not only do you look a lot better, your skin starts to glow, your physique, or if you do it the right way, if you have it's calories in, calories out type thing, but like just the way you feel, like your energy. You know how you feel after you eat Macca's? You don't feel good because you just ate ultra processed bullshit. But you eat a organic grass fed steak with fucking just a really, really healthy meal. I'm not fucking out here trying to be Jamie Oliver, but
with a red wine dew and
15 G's of garlic. But yeah, eat good, look good, feel good.
True. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you there. Like, I think, I'm obviously not a pillar of fucking good health.
You get there.
But yeah, but I already feel better. I feel the changes already, and I have more energy throughout the week now. I'm waking up earlier. Yeah, I've actually been getting to work like half an hour early, like which is just I
just say is phenomenal. When when you turn up and you're early somewhere.
I know. I sometimes get there before the boss, and he's meant to start at 8. Sometimes he rocks up at like 8:15. I'm like, brother, I've been here for 15 minutes. Where you been?
Yeah.
But I think that is obviously a huge, it's a work in progress. Like for everyone who's either struggled with under eating or overeating or whatever, it takes a long time to change those.
It's quite literally, it is. They're quite literally like, it's not only just a choice. It's quite literally like belief systems.
Yeah.
And like the self-perception, all this shit. Like that is why, like I say to people, like it's not just about, oh, I'm gonna start eating healthy now. That's it. I'm gonna eat healthy. It's like, no, bro. It's like design your environment to help you, change your self-perception, remove all these negative self-limiting beliefs, install new positive self-perceptions and new belief systems, because all this internal stuff, it manifests.
Yeah.
Like everything external about me and everything that I've done and all this sort of shit, it's all started with the internal. Everything. It's like that's you don't just go out and just, do shit and expect it to be perfect. You need to like design it internally.
Yeah. For sure. I feel like I probably didn't do that enough in 2020. And I think I became obsessed. I think I became obsessive about losing weight rather than just feeling good. So that's why this time I weigh myself, like I weighed myself at the beginning and I just weighed myself like after a week and a half. Like I'm not doing it religiously like I was. I was weighing myself the same day, the same time every week, to see how much I had lost in that week. And if it wasn't, towards the end when it started to slow down, because it obviously does slow down, if you're fucking 120 kilos, obviously you're going to lose 3-4 kilos in the first week and 3 kilos the second week and 2 kilos the next week. And when it starts to slow down, I started to think like, fuck, you're not fucking, that's not good enough, cunt. That's not fucking good enough. Like, what are you doing? And I think that's such an unhealthy fucking mindset to me when it comes to weight loss. And, and it's not attainable. Like it's not sustainable. Sorry.
Coming from a place of like, sort of like self-hatred, just like, like that's not good enough, that bullshit, in comparison to being come from a place of self-love. I always say to, because I'm a PT qualified as well, so I say to, my clients, the goal, like in comparison, if they wanted to stop smoking or whatever, the goal isn't to stop smoking. The goal is to become a non-smoker. All change comes from identity shift. And also, it's a lifestyle, man. Like, I'm not too, I do programs that are like 6-week, 8-week, 12-week programs or whatever. But that, in my honest opinion, that is just to get them in the rhythm of something. Yeah, they'll get fucking great results, sure. But they're just going to plummet back to how they originally were if they don't adopt the lifestyle and the mentality of a healthy individual. Yeah. So it's also like, sure, like, the scales might be slowing down a little bit, but man, you are in this for the long run. This is a 80-year process. I plan on eating healthy and lifting and training and stuff until I'm literally dead. I'm not like, once I get this physique, that's it. Yeah. Bro, I'm in this for life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's probably was my problem too. I think I looked too much into it as like the goal weight, and it's like I didn't think about what happened after that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? It was like, oh, I reached it now. Sweet.
Should be identity
Like-
and like lifestyle shift.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think I think I'm doing it in a much healthier way this time, which is good. Like I was obsessive over like I wouldn't touch anything outside of light and easy, but I was also doing the full 7-day breakfast, lunch, dinner, so I didn't need to eat anything else.
Which, let's be real, that is very unsustainable.
Yeah, and then when I did do it, and when I did splurge and go out for dinner or something, I actually felt guilty. You know, like I bought this food, like, and now I'm not going to eat it. Like that was for that day, and now I've gone out and fucking got a pub feed, and like, and then I'd be like, fuck, that's an extra, 500, 600 calories. I got to go on I got to do an extra gym session tomorrow.
Yeah,
like
see,
I got to go, and it's like that mindset is not
like,
fucking good. That's not good.
I think what's the term? Is it orthorexia? When you're like hyper obsessed about healthy eating.
Yeah,
That's I want to get into that. I was
I think that's what I got to.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why I've put on the weight again.
I literally, when I was young, when I was doing boxing, I struggled with orthorexia. I used to think it was anorexia until I actually understood the terms a bit more. But orthorexia was like hyper obsession with healthy eating. It got to the point where like when I used to live with my dad, I was eating food and I would cut the fat off the steak and I would only eat like the healthiest of foods. And literally, if I ate a little bit of fat, I would fucking like, and this is so fucked up now that I look back on it, but you learn from your experiences. I would actually like punish myself and I'd be like, okay, it's time, you got to go a 10-kilometer run because you ate that. And I would hit those runs, man. And I was always like, you ate that, now you got to pay the price. And I look back, I'm like, you're in such a bad place. You thought you were doing good.
Yeah.
And I actually had like an image of myself. I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, I'm extremely like, I thought I was like fat. I thought I was chubby. And I look back on my pictures and I was like, I wasn't anorexic, but fuck, I was so skinny. I had no muscle to me, because I was running so much and I was eating so little and it's just in a very bad mental place.
Yeah.
And now I look back on that, I'm just like, shit. And now that also helps me understand the mental illness type aspects of things, of like, from the outside, you can see that this person, and addictions and like everything, you can see that this is clearly what this individual is doing isn't right, but they can't see that.
Yeah.
What they're experiencing from their perspective is normal. They think they're fat. They think that what their addiction they're engaging in, they don't think it's that bad,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I think people can forget that. I think it's so easy to forget that. For instance, there was, I'm not going to name names, but there was a wedding I was at. And one of the bridesmaids made it clear that she felt like she was fat, right? She looked fat in that dress. She was fat, blah, blah, right? All this shit. And there was another girl in the bridesmaids group who is a bigger girl than this girl who's calling herself fat. And I'm thinking, how fucking dare you? Like at the time, how fucking dare you say that? Obviously, this girl is going to feel like shit if you're saying you're fat and you're fucking pretty hot. You know what I mean? Like you got a good body, like you are pretty fit compared to other people within the vicinity of which you're saying this. Like, but it doesn't matter to them because in their head, they are fat.
It's
they
their
are
reality,
too fat, and that's their reality.
Which is literally like that. That's a thing that really blew my mind when I first understood it. Like the mind creates the reality. That blew my fucking mind. Like you can design your mind in a specific way to have a specific reality. Mine and your realities, even though we're in the exact same room right now, it is completely different.
Yeah.
Your perception of me, my perception of you, your perception of this shit, everything. It's crazy. And the thoughts we're having, the emotions we're experiencing, everything is completely separate. And it's like, so
sometimes that makes me feel so alone when someone puts it down like that.
You get deeper into it on the more spiritual aspect and beyond the neurosis, beyond the thoughts and emotions and perceptions and this and that, like to the level of awareness, we are the exact same.
Yeah.
We are that energy or the consciousness that is perceiving these things. So on the deepest level, we are the exact same thing inhabiting, this is getting real spiritual, but inhabiting different physical bodies. And that's a worldview that I've adopted to help me connect with others on a really deep level. Because when I talk to you, I'm talking to me in a different form. You know what I mean? Just get the phone, but let me just turn that.
It's all right. My mum's called me on before while I was filming, and I'm like, bitch, you knew I was doing a podcast. Dumb cunt. I love you, mum. I'm only kidding. You're the best. So I wanted to talk a bit about obviously the RVG brand.
Yeah.
And the expansion of that. Obviously, it's separate to your photography business.
Yeah.
Just under the same name. But do you have is your goal to have it all under a parent company, I guess, being RVG, and then you have off, or is it just two separate businesses and that's how you want to keep it?
So I've definitely thought about that. On the sort of legal side of things, I don't know if I should go too into this, but it'll pretty much be like RVG Enterprises and then the franchises coming off it type thing. But yeah, there's RVG Media, obviously RVG Coaching. I don't intend to make any more. I think if you spread yourself too thin, you can't get anything done.
I agree.
I don't want to be a fucking generalist at all. That is not my game.
Yeah.
I want to be a specialist. You
don't want to be like Jim's
Yeah,
rowing.
exactly. I'm not trying to have fucking 12 companies going on. I'm trying to be the best at fucking 2.
Yeah.
RVG Media is doing honestly really well. I remember the last time I was speaking, we started speaking about RVG Media. So the end goal is weddings.
Yeah.
We now literally have 4 weddings booked in.
Yeah, awesome.
Photography, videography, all that stuff. So that's going really well, and that's sort of at the point where I want it to be.
Yeah.
And now I can.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? As a photographer,
for the photographer, yeah.
Yeah, weddings are, that's where the money is, baby.
And also money, yeah, but also impact.
It is, and it's what I've only photographed one wedding, but it's such a special thing to be a part of,
100%.
And to be in charge of that. It's pressure. It's a lot of pressure, I must say. I've definitely felt the pressure, but afterwards you feel fucking elated. It's
100.
And you look back and once you're kind of nervous, it's kind of a nervous anticipation of actually looking at the photos and looking at, and then you edit them and everything. And you're like, wow, fuck, I did a good job.
Even with that, them nerves, I think nerves are good. They're very natural. But my first birthday party with RVG Media, do you know how fucking nervous I was? I was like, oh my fucking God, I hope I don't fuck this up. I was going through my list 10 times. I was in my car what am I going to do? What am I going to say? And now shooting, I think I've shot over 250 just birthday parties with RVG Media. And now it's just so natural to me. I'll just rock up, do it, fucking kill it. Nearly every time I do a absolute 10 out of 10 job, customer service, everything's it's just automated now.
Yeah.
Same thing with my first, when I took on my first coaching client, I was like, oh, fuck, it's a bit of imposter syndrome, I think, because you don't have that personal experience yet.
That is true. And you know what? And I feel that on a deep level, hey, that imposter syndrome, doing the first podcast, doing, my first on-screen acting fucking, project at NIDA, things like this. It's can I even do this? Am I even fucking, what the fuck am I doing here?
Exactly.
Is this even me? Or do I just look am I just trying to be someone that's fucking 100%. Done this?
Do you know a really good quote? It goes, success breeds confidence and confidence breeds success. With the, one of the reasons that I've been so confident in launching into this RVG coaching is because of RVG Media. It's not my first fucking rodeo with building a business. I know this shit now. Obviously I don't know fucking everything. I'm not a business coach, but it's I've done this shit before. I've dealt with clients, I've dealt with people, I've dealt with objections and all this fucking business related shit. So coming into this, I'm a different fucking animal in comparison to the boy, quite literally boy. I was 17 or 16 years old when I launched RVG Media. It's a different animal, and I'm just I am so much more confident in this, and that's why it's picking up a lot quicker than RVG Media did it initially.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming in with confidence and I know how to deal with people a lot better now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you probably know how to market yourself better too. I think that's obviously a massive part of business, is marketing yourself. Someone could have the greatest product in the world, and if they don't market well, no one's going to fucking buy it.
I know photographers that are phenomenal. They are quite literally Picassos at their work. They are really good, but they lack social confidence. They care too much about what other people think, and they just don't put out there what they do. Anyone goes on my social media, they will see my page is flooded with my shit. I'm my own biggest supporter. It's you have to be. You can't. You hide your product. Don't expect to get customers.
Yeah.
I meet people in the. I started training at Atmosphere. I've been hitting the sauna a bit. Every person I talk to in the sauna, the question pops up, what do you do? I'm a mindset and lifestyle coach. I run a media company, this and that. They're like, really? Shit, can I get your contact? Boom, networking, bro. You're building your business.
Yeah. And that's and I think that's where me and you are quite similar in that aspect of you just got to talk to people.
You got to network, man.
Talk to
that
people.
is the key.
You know, there's an opportunity fucking everywhere.
100.
You know, everywhere. Shoot your shot is what I say. Like to anyone, literally the worst that can happen is they tell you to get fucked. Like
So bad. It is what it is.
cool. See ya.
Exactly.
You're like,
I think people underestimate how much impact one person can have. For example, I went to a BNI thing. It's like a business networking event. I went there. I met one lady, right? She goes, oh, you know, you do like photography and videography? I said, yeah. This is before RVG coaching was a thing. And then she's like, oh, can I grab your number? I said, sure thing. A few days later, get a message, wake up. Oh, you're available this Saturday? Sure am. It was like Hawkesbury Business Awards, like some event night thing. I went there, bro. I met, quite literally, I think it was like, how many, I don't even know how many people were there, but I think it was like 1,000 people there or something.
yeah, it's a big
all
awards night.
local Hawkesbury events. Man, I was a marketing machine in that place. Like I was obviously I was doing my job as a photographer, taking pictures and making sure all that was good too. But everyone I met, hey bro, this is my card. The photos will be here. You know, if you ever need anything, hit me up. Bro, do you know how much business I got from that?
Yeah,
like,
man, you would have got heaps.
That's what I mean. Like even if I did that event for free, which I wouldn't do, but yeah, even if I did that event for free, the byproduct of that event and the networking that I did is worth thousands.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. Like, and I think that's what was the quote before you said? Confidence builds success.
Yeah, confidence breeds success. Whatever,
Yeah.
it can go both ways, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think 100%. I think it is all about, you know, as Ocean Alley said, it's all about confidence, baby. And
Fucking oath. Honestly, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in your products. If you don't do that, no one else fucking will.
Yeah.
If I was coming on here and being like, oh, you know, I don't know if I could do the coaching gig. You think anyone's gonna fucking want me as a coach?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
And like, in all honesty, even with the photography,
Gonna
man,
teach me to be a bitch.
even with the photography, imagine if I was walking around a gig being like, you guys want a photo?
Yeah.
No one's gonna want that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like this introverted individual, like that's another thing. Photography, fuck, you have to be extroverted. That's why you're good at it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like same as me, like I'm good at it because I can go into a crowd of 150 people that I've never met and be like, yo, who wants a photo?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think I love it. I fucking love it. Like I think I really like live music events. Like I'm shooting you know, my mate Billy.
Yeah.
So he's got his first ever gig next Saturday
really?
night. So I'm shooting that for him.
Fuck no.
And I'm so excited. Like I love shooting live music, mostly because of the access you get.
Yeah.
And I
You're in the
love,
front, eh?
I love access, like, and I love going backstage. I love seeing things that other people don't get to see.
Yeah, facts.
And that's what really excites me. And even though there's not as much money in like live music photography, I would love to do that full time. Like, fucking love it. I'd love to go on a tour with someone.
Experiences on experiences.
The
man.
amount of people you'd meet, especially if it's like an international tour, the amount of people you'd meet, it's just fucking
Travel
ridiculous.
for free, like get paid to travel.
Get paid to travel. And yeah, like that's, you know, obviously once Billy blows up and goes fucking global, which I think his music's so good, that I would love to be, like, I would love to go on tour with him.
Yeah.
And obviously he'd fucking hire me, so.
Hook it up, Billy. No, fuck no.
But yeah, but also in then relation to that, it's like, but with that, the one thing you sort of are missing, even though you're talking to the artist and stuff, which is cool, but it's not as much people oriented as going to a party or doing a wedding or that, which I really enjoy that social aspect of it too. And, you know, you have to be fun, you have to be up, you have to, you know, you have to get them doing, you know.
And you have to, this is something that I've, like, you learn a lot. There's so many things you learn from certain experiences you never think you will. I've learned so much about human psychology and the different archetypes of people and all this sort of thing through event photography. It's insane. I've learned, like, there are certain types of people that you can't speak to a certain way. You know, like there's a big difference if I'm shooting a corporate event in Sydney and everyone's wearing suits and, you know, really nice dresses in comparison to if I'm shooting a backyard party in Mount Druitt. You know, there's very different types of people. You have to approach them very differently.
Yeah.
You can't be the exact same with each. And this isn't saying be a fake person. Still authentic, but understand that you need to slightly alter the way you present yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's important to, you know, authenticity doesn't mean you're the 100% of yourself 100% of the time. You know, I feel like we can all be different things to different people at all different times, you know, and
different people bring out different versions of us.
Yeah, they do, and we all have different versions of ourselves, which are just as authentic as the other. Like, I don't think it's when you're twisting, like saying, you know, I'm for this, and then to the next person you're saying you're against it. You're a wanker. But yeah, and I get 100%, like, depending on what event it is, the people you're interacting with, you know, it's the same as like being at work compared to being out at the pub with your mates. You know, like,
you're not gonna be like,
you're not gonna be like, what up, cunts? Like at work, you know. Well, to be honest, my work, you are. They're fucking mental. I love them. But you sort of not restrict, but you just you give, you know, your more professional version of yourself, and then, or if you're at something, you know, like a big, you know, an 18th party, you're gonna give your fucking fun version of yourself.
Exactly, because if you portray this big corporate version of yourself at the 18th party, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's boring.
Yeah, he's a wanker, bro.
you gotta adapt. You got to be adaptable, and I think that's actually a skill, like a really good skill or trait to have as a successful individual, especially as like an individual who's like a little bit entrepreneurial. I would say I'm a fucking entrepreneurial, to be honest.
100%. It sells. You need to relate.
You need to be able to like, okay, well, right now I'm going to go shoot a party, and then I've got a coaching call. It's like you have to be a slightly different version of yourself. You're a photographer here, you're a fucking coach here, bro. Like, you got to be able to differentiate. A little bit.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
And this isn't so, Mum. What's that movie where that cunt has nine personalities?
Oh, fucking.
What's his name? He's bold.
Oh God, what movie is that? It's part of the glass.
Anyway, but you get the gist. Yes. The motherfucker's like,
when he's like Patricia and shit.
Yeah, he's like, what's up, man?
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah. God, I know a few people who actually have full different personalities around, depending on who they're around.
I was actually was I not saying this to you before this podcast? We were having a conversation, and I said there's certain individuals who, people pleasing in particular, they will agree with whoever they're talking to, and they want to people please so much, and they want to be accepted so much, they will literally throw other people under the bus that they're friends with in front of this person to gain the approval and acceptance of them. But it is a short-term game, because their social structure falls out from underneath them when people start to realize this motherfucker is a chameleon. He's
and they're left with no identity.
Exactly, yeah. They don't even know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just authentically you, and you're this like similar or same person to every single person you're with, you know who you are. If people don't like it, ladies, brother, it's cool. Like, I'll show you the door. I'll literally show you the door.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I try not to surround myself with anyone like that now, and I feel very at peace with who's in my close circle. Obviously, there's other people who I will say hello to and shit out in public, and you know, when I'm fucked up on a Saturday night at the Royal, I'm gonna talk to everyone, but I certainly wouldn't trust them with, you know, the way I trust my close circle, you know. I want to, we'll sort of wrap up, but I want you to be able to just tell people exactly what you offer with RVG coaching.
Yep.
Give them, you know, price point if you want, what they get for it. Yeah, take it away.
Cool. Okay, so should I look at the camera? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I'll just fucking keep talking to you. It's all good. Yeah, so RVG Coaching, obviously we're like a self-development coaching business. Pretty much come to us if you are struggling with, you know, your mental health, if you need help overcoming trauma, if you want help building good habits, physical development. Like, in all honesty, like, I'm a qualified PT, NTT, neurotransformation therapist. I'm a mindset coach. Like, we're pretty well rounded on the whole spectrum of things. At the moment, I'm offering online one-on-one coaching. So that involves a couple programs. I've got an internal breakthrough program, which is like the mindset program. And that pretty much has like 4 or 5 phases to it. Pretty much first phase is like awaken. That's where I teach you how to understand your true nature, which is awareness, develop a really healthy relationship to your thoughts and emotions, all that sort of thing. And then the second phase is like the healing phase type thing. That's when we sort of go through any events that may have caused you any trauma. We bring up that trauma. We heal it. We use timeline transformation therapy, which I'm also qualified in. And that is basically, I'm not going to go into the whole procedure here, but it's a tool, a practice that we use to remove negative emotions from specific traumatic events. And also shift your perception of those events from negative to positive using things such as extracting certain teachings from that and understanding that you wouldn't be who you are without those experiences, whatever. So in the healing phase, we heal all trauma, remove all self-limiting beliefs, all negative emotions, all this sort of shit, all negative self-perceptions. We really get you to a blank state, like a clean slate, just remove all that bullshit that's holding you back. And people don't understand how much this shit holds them back until they bring it up. I worked with a client recently who thought he's like, I'm fine, man. He's like, I'll jump on the call with you, but there's nothing for me to deal with. We jumped on the call. I had a list like 3 pages long of stuff that we need to work on. And I said to him, I said, brother, this is what I found out. This is what's come up in this session. I said, it's completely up to you. If you want to move ahead and like go ahead with this coaching, I'm very confident that we can clear all this stuff from you. But if you don't, completely fine. And he said, bro, he's like, please. And we started working together. And even from the first session, we cleared, so the 5 main negative emotions are, I think, anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, and what is the other one? There's one more. Anyway, whatever it is, I've got it written down. I'm not a fucking supercomputer. But we removed all the negative emotions of guilt from his past. He grew up with a lot of trauma and like a perception that he was responsible for certain aspects of other people, and we cleared all that. And man, I have he wanted to send me a testimonial. He's like, bro, you've helped me so fucking much. He says he feels physically lighter, his cognitive function has been enhanced significantly. All this stuff just from this one session. He goes, you've changed my fucking life. And I literally said to him, I said, bro, we are just getting started. That is 1 emotion out of 5. We haven't even touched on self-limiting beliefs, self-perceptions. I'm about to fucking change your entire life experience, which is massive for me. Like, I love, one of my top values is contribution. Love making change and like positive change, obviously. So yeah, we have the mindset program. The second, I've got a piece of paper here, tell me. The second phase is the healing one. And that's pretty much where we go through all that stuff. And then we touch on also resistance to what is and how that can also cause suffering. And then pretty much when we've removed all this stuff and you're at a really, really good state, but you just clean slate, then we go into this thing, which is like reprogramming the subconscious mind. And that's all about, affirmations, changing your self-perception, changing, like reinstalling new belief systems that fucking serve you. People don't understand how powerful belief systems are. Everything that I am is due to my belief systems, and all that is changeable. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to be really taken in with these programs. And then the fourth phase is so that's still programming, where you pretty much just will touch on goals a little bit too, because logotherapy, have you ever heard of that?
No.
Logotherapy is I think it's a subcategory of psychology which deals with it just highlights the importance of having a purpose in this life and sort of avoiding like existential crisis. So I'm definitely going to be incorporating goal setting in my programs, because I think a person with a vision and a goal is a person who has that purpose, and they're in a lot better place in comparison to someone who is just floating through life doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the mindset program. And then I also have another program, which is lifestyle optimization program. And this pretty much, we're going to talk on things like just like creating daily habits that support your desired trajectory, accountability systems, environmental design, dopamine, things that you can do to sort of ensure your dopamine stays at good levels, fucking all this stuff. Like, we will touch a little bit in physical training and like meal recommendations and stuff, like diet recommendations. But then, if you want to go even deeper with me, we also offer the physical development program, which will be like obviously physical training, diet, all that sort of stuff. I'm really offering everything that I have possibly ever fucking learned. I want to give to other people. I want to provide as much value as I possibly can. And like, I genuinely just want to be able to make massive change on people's lives. I want someone to come to me and be like, bro, my life is a fucking mess. Like, nothing's going right. Can you please help me? I say, fucking oath I can, man. Let's go. Let's work together. The first consultation call or identity call, whatever you want to call it, that's free, completely free. You can jump on a call with me for 30 minutes. We chat about everything. It's like an awareness session. I'll bring up to the potential clients. I'll say, listen, these are the things that are holding you back. Like, where do you want to be? Where you at? Where do you want to be? This are the things that are holding you back. even if you just jump on that session with me and you don't even want to buy any programs, completely fine. I've still made a change because you are now aware of what's holding you back. You can look into that stuff yourself and, remove it yourself if you know how. I wouldn't recommend fucking around with things you don't sort of know. It's pretty intrinsic stuff. But yeah, so that's what I'm offering. I just want to really be a place and a person that can make massive change in people's lives. So yeah, if also I want to offer a bit of a promotional thing here.
Yep.
Speak Free, baby. So if you mention Speak Free in the consultation call, if you choose to go ahead with my coaching programs, within 3 months of this episode being launched, I will give you 10% off the program price, which is a pretty good amount. So yeah, that's the benefit of watching Speak Free, baby.
100%. There's always a bit of added extra bonus to watching this podcast, mate. I tell you. But we're going to go to the pub now for a healthy steak and veggies.
Oh, nice.
Just kidding. I'm probably going to get a load of schnitzel or something. It's the weekend, baby. Fuck light and easy. But no, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, man.
All the best for obviously it's cool to me that we've done this just over a year later.
Yeah.
I'll actually have to look at the date of when we released the first episode.
Bro, this business was honestly, obviously I was into self-development from fucking 10, and then there are certain individuals you could ask. I was talking about this stuff fucking 3, 4, 5 years ago. Brief ideas, and there are so many different names that I had that were thought about. It was going to be RVG, fucking holistic health and wellness. It was going to be, what the fuck else was it going to be? RVG. The original one was RVG Health and Fitness. That actually launched. But then there was I felt like I had more to offer than just physical development. I'm like, yeah, I can be a fucking PT, but how many people are PTs? No shame to PTs. I got a lot of good friends at PTs, love PTs.
But it's saturated.
And I'm like, I want to be able to offer more than just changing someone's physique, because I was actually doing PT for a bit, and my clients, they were like, oh yeah, we're getting good results. I had a client lose 10 kilos in 4 weeks or 6 weeks or something like that. But he was depressed, and he was still feeling fucked about himself. And I was like, oh shit, this is a discrepancy here. I want to be able to help that too. So yeah, that's sort of where it's been in the works for a very, very long time. And everyone knows, I dedicate my life to this shit. I'm very dedicated to learning and building, and I'm just very happy it's launched. I'm keen to make an impact.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, congratulations. All the best.
Thanks, brother.
And remember, guys, Speak Free with Matty G.
You.